Distaggio back at you with a little Hearthstone. This is again my new favorite game. I really love this. I still play Castle Clash, and this is the Steef Midrange Shaman Hearthstone deck. I think a couple of people have been asking me too what Steef means. Steef is simply the creator of the deck. If you go to Hearthstone, so HEARTHPWN.com/decks, and sort of filter on shaman decks, you will see a couple of prevalent shaman decks. Those are sort of the hot decks of the last week. You'll see a Steef Shaman mid-range, and you'll also see a very, very fun and entertaining mech deck. So there's a Shaman mech deck out there that's pretty awesome too. Zombie Chow, that is a awesome way to use Zombie Chow. Zombie Chow is a 2/3 that only costs 1. However, when it dies, it gives your opponent 5 life back. So it's a really, really great early game play, because if it takes out a couple other minions before it dies early in the game, it doesn't really matter if they gain life. So you can see there I hexed. I'm playing this actually really high speed video. This is going to be a matchup against a control mage, which means painfully slow. So I do have to speed it up just to get it under 10 minutes, and I just stripped out my original commentary. I'm just going to add some here on the fly here. And you know what's really nice about this deck is also something that I'd say the average game time on the mid-range type deck, and that's a deck that can kind of go aggro or it can go control. It's not one or the other, it sort of can be both. So you can see right here, I'm not in control yet, but he's not in control of the game either. That's what we mean by when we say in control. So it's sort of it's in balance right now. You can't quite tell who's winning at this point. And if that's the case by about turn 5 or 6, if they're an aggro deck and they haven't won by turn, say, 7, and I'm a mid-range deck and they haven't won by turn 7, and I'm not close to being dead, then I'm basically winning the control. I mean, I am essentially in control. That Defender of Argus there comes down then and gives taunt and +1/+1 to each of the left and right. And yeah, Defender of Argus is a good choice for this deck, because it works so good in a Shaman deck, because if you don't have minions but you draw Defender of Argus, you can summon up a totem and then pop it down. So that's always nice. You can see here I got some interesting win conditions in my hand there too. I have Alakir and I have a Rockbiter weapon, which means I can Rockbiter Alakir and swing for, that would be 12 damage in 1 turn. And so I'm just waiting for that setup. I'm waiting for the appropriate time. I would need 9 mana to do that, which I would have next turn. But I mean, look at all these minions he's got down right here. I have to control this or I'm gone. He's attacking for 8 damage per turn. I'm only going to last a couple turns, so I had to actually use Alakir and take out that Bolt of Fasilgar deal. So that's what I had to do there. I still have a Wind Fury, so Alakir is pretty cool because he comes out with Divine Shield. He's got Wind Fury taunt. He's 3/5. He's not, he's not like super crazy awesome, but he's probably not even like super necessary in the deck, but obviously he worked out pretty well there. Occasionally he's great, and occasionally he's just gonna sit in your hand the whole game. So it just depends. Azure Drake is nice because it obviously gives you that spell power of 1, and you get to draw a card. It's just kind of that old standby. Anti-kill bot for the heal. I mean, that heal is really what throws a lot of people off. They try to get you down to like 8, and then all of a sudden you're healing another 8 with the anti-kill bot, and so you're up to 16. Now look at this. He's got re-established a board presence already. He's got Chillwind Yeti, he's got Azure Drake, he's got Boulderfist Ogre. I mean, I don't even know what kind of deck this is. I just thought it was pretty cool that a deck like this, basically a free-to-play deck, is this high in the rankings. Not that this is super high. This is 12. I'm ranked 12 right now. That's about top, I don't know, 10 or 15% of all players. And you can see there I do the 3 damage. Got the 3 damage there in. And it just keeps going back and forth. And the Mage deck I'm playing right here, there's not really an archetype for what he's playing. It's basically a free-to-play deck. Tons of those cards are free-to-play. It looks like he does have Naxxramas purchase, but really I'm not seeing anything like super crazy here. Like Chillwind Yeti is a free card. You get that when you start the game. And so is the Sludge Ooze guy. that 3/2 right there. When he comes into play, he destroys your opponent's weapon if there is one. And that was a super heavily played card in the early days of the game because there weren't a lot of ways to take out your opponent's weapon at the time. There was a legendary minion that comes into play and takes out a weapon, but not a lot of people had legendaries, you know, way back then. As people are just starting and seeing if this free play game was worth playing for free, and so we're in a lot of people spending a lot of money on it in the early days, but no, it's a little bit changed. Now they're starting to advertise, create TV commercials, and grow the game. And that's one of the problems we're having with Castle Clash, is not really growing the game. Now he heal bots up too. I mean, this game just goes back and forth and back and forth. One of the reasons I like this deck, well, one of the reasons I like it and don't like it is that it kind of goes back and forth and back and forth. So it's good that it comes back into my favor, right? It's just that I can lose favor real quick too, and the balance of control can swing to the opponent. So it's kind of a double-edged sword, if you will. Being a shaman though, it's nice because you can always get defense built pretty quick, or offense, I guess too, given the totems are minions. I mean, they summon minions, and that's a spell damage minion. That 0/2, the sparkly one right there. I mean, that's spell damage 1. So if I were to draw some burn here, it helps that out. Of course, there's also a 1/1 that you can get, and there's a Healy totem. So there, I got all the totems out. So you can see here why this deck is so great with Shaman. It's because, you know, four minions for free, basically. I mean, it's just hero ability. Paladin does the same. I mean, that's true. So the Paladin ability summons a 1/1. It's always only a 1/1 though, not a taunt. The Feral Spirit draw right there is interesting. So that summons 2/2/3 taunts. It's a spell you cast for 2/3 taunts. Costs 3 mana. It gives you Overload 2, which means it locks 2 of your mana down for the following turn. One of the things that bugs me on my tablet is I can't turn off that bottom bar, so whenever I touch down there, it thinks I want to, like, close the window or go to multi-tab or whatever. And then here Flame Strikes me. I totally forgot about he probably has Flame Strike in his deck if it's a free-to-play player. Flame Strike isn't super common in a lot of the rogue decks, or sorry, a lot of the mage decks right now. You got a lot of mech mage, you got a lot of aggro, you got a lot of sort of mid-range mages, you got some blaster mages, you got a lot of different things. You got grinder, yeah, anyways, I should have thought of Flame Strike. I totally overextended, and I mentioned that in past videos where I tend to do that. That Doomhammer there, it's basically gonna give me 16 damage if he does nothing, and you can see right now he's burning himself. He's ran out of cards. This game has gone so long. If I didn't change the speed of the video, I think it was something like 24 minutes long. I mean, that's just crazy. So obviously I'm not gonna force you guys to watch a 22-minute video of control versus control. So I'm gonna speed this up here, and I'm gonna move on to other decks now. So this is the May season, May of 2015. I got up to rank 9, and that put me in the top, I don't know, 8% I want to say, but then I dropped down to 11 on the last few days. So I ended the season, I think, on rank 11. But I was close. I did get single digits, which was nice. That was my goal, was to get single digits. And I only had a couple weeks to get to single digits. And I think it only took me about a week, actually, once I really started focusing on it. I've never hit Legendary, so I do look forward to doing that hopefully soon. I'm not sure if June will be the month, but we'll see. Fire Elemental, you got the double Doomhammer, so I'm going to attack twice. So there's 4 damage. The Fire Elemental is going to be 3 more damage. That's going to take him to 5. And then the Big Game Hunter, the 4/1 right there, is going to take him down to 1. So he'll be at 1 health. Now watch the ending. This is beautiful. I've gone down to regular speed video because I love this ending. All my totems and... oh, he dies. He dies. So funny. This is so funny. He died from fatigue. That's awesome. Anyway, so it looks like this is the one that got me to, well, okay, not quite rank 11, but just at the edge of rank 12, close to rank 11. Super fun deck. And yeah, as always, keep it dirty and dirty up.